Trust in the chakra above.
Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Unit Lost. I am Stylosa, and Junkrat, he is my favourite character in this game, but he's got one of the worst ultimates. We're going to be talking about Riptire, and then we're going to be talking about the worst ultimate in the game, which is Deadeye, ladies and gentlemen. And we're going to discuss both of them and discuss how they can be fixed or maybe changed to make them a little bit more engaging and a little bit, well, better to use. Now, both of these characters, Junkrat and McCree, do have issues with, well, their characters, and they both could be candidates for a rework, much in the style of Symmetra and Lucio received. Anyway, let's talk about Junkrat to begin with. So, what we've got is Riptire. This is his ultimate. It's a remote-controlled bomb. Sounds really cool. It can climb the wall. Awesome. It does 600 damage when it detonates on your face. It's got a 10-meter radius from the detonation and does 60 damage at the end of the radius. So, it's really, really powerful. And that's one of the problems with Riptire. That's why it has to be killable. Because you can't have this... I mean, watch this now, right? This bomb here, if this could not be killed and it could fly straight into your team and do that to you and wipe you out, that would be bad, bad times. Now, admittedly there, that was a good use of the ultimate. Came in from above, killed 2 supports, that's great. This, though, is generally what happens, right? So there I am, in a nice defensive position. Oh, look! McCree walks around the corner, flashbangs me, my Riptire doesn't even spawn because F you, Sty, and then McCree just kills me because, well, McCree's always going to kill a Junkrat in any kind of duel unless it's point-blank range. Even then, he just flashbang you and shoot you in the head. So what's the problem here? Well, here's another Riptire, and that kills that McCree. That teaches you there. Yes, that's right, Mr. McCree. You can say, wow. What is the problem with all of this then, right? So, it does a lot of damage. It has to be killable to offset the fact it does an absolute ton of damage. Like, this thing could blow up an entire enemy team, effectively, right? If it can be killed, well, then it does nothing. Junkrat is very, very vulnerable while he's using this ultimate because you have no control over yourself, right? So you can just be easily killed. If somebody finds you, they can take you out. Now, you're probably saying, well, Sty, if you're going to use the Riptire, you need to be in a position where you're safe. And that's generally what you try and do, right? So if you're from the back, you'll try and, well, if you're in the back, you'll try and hide somewhere. Then you use your Riptire. The biggest issue is the Riptire is possibly the loudest thing in the game, much louder than Sombra when she used to go, all right, mate, I'm over here, when she dropped the stealth, although they've sort of like toned that down a little bit, and well done, Blizzard, for that. But the Riptire is literally the worst. It's 10 times as loud. You know where it's coming from. This thing is going to roll up to you, and you're going to kill it. You've seen at the start of this video, I killed it with a fire strike from Reinhardt. Now, that's stupid, right? Okay, that doesn't happen all the time, but it happens a lot of the time. Riptire is very easy to counter. Because it does a lot of damage, Blizzard have obviously gave it the negative of, yes, if you can kill it, guys, then it won't damage you. But it is massive. It is a really big hitbox. So how can this be sorted? How can this be fixed? I don't think it can. Riptire itself is like a flawed ultimate design. It's insanely powerful against new players, much like Deadeye, who don't know what the ultimates are going to do to them, right? They'll hear this very loud noise from Riptire. They'll be like, well, what the hell is this? Just like when they hear, it's noon. They know something's going on. It's like, what is this? Something is going bad. We're probably going to die. But they don't know how to deal with it. But after a few games, they will know how to deal with it. The fact of the matter is, you shoot at Riptire, you as much as look at Riptire, you're going to take it out. And it means Junkrat's ultimate, well, it's kind of useless. Like, well, calling anything useless is not fair, right? It's not absolutely useless. It does have some uses. You can maybe fire the Riptire in from the high ground or use it to climb walls. You get the odd cheeky kill with it. But most of the time, and I'm going to go out there and say like 50% of the time, it will get destroyed because people know how to deal with it and know how to counter this ultimate. It's just too easy to counter, and that's a big problem with it. And it means that Junkrat, his effectiveness sort of goes down, and Junkrat is a problematic character anyway because he's only really usable in a few situations, which isn't an issue as such, but it's just in those situations sometimes Junkrat can be replaced by other characters where Junkrat is supposed to be strong, although he does have very strong points, like first point Anubis, for example, on defense. I really like Junkrat there. I think he's really good. He's actually okay on the second point as well, and there are other points as well, like Eichenwald first point. He can be quite effective as well. So it's not really an issue that characters can't be played every single game, but it just feels like he does need a little bit of love. So what would I do to his ultimate? You know what? I've been thinking about this, and I don't think you can really change Riptire. It's part of his character. Like, it's on his model. It's on his back. He needs Riptire. And Riptire is usable sometimes. It's not like it's a total trash ultimate. It just feels like that because when you've got it and you want to use it, more often than not, you get countered. What happens if Junkrat gets another ultimate? What happens if Junkrat goes the Symmetra rework route and gets a different ultimate? What happens if you give Junkrat a kamikaze ultimate, where instead of actually pulling the Riptire off his back and driving it into the enemy team, he can just blow it up on his back? Imagine that. That might be really good. Now, there is a Bit of an issue with this. Junkrat can fly around all over the place with Concussion Bomb, or his Concussion Mine. Now, that means you could fry into the enemy team and then blow yourself up, which could be pretty funny, like getting a load of kills, but also you could argue that, yeah, you might be easy to kill as you're jumping through the air into the enemy team. Lucio could speed boost you into the enemy team to blow yourself up, and maybe it would be more like a, kind of like a Reaper Beyblade style meta, you know, where Reaper would just speed into the enemy team, use his Death Blossom, and he was Nano Boost who did a ton of damage. And even so, you could compare it directly to Death Blossom and say, well, that would be a bit similar to Death Blossom, right? Because that's kind of what that is, in a way. Although Junkrats could maybe be a bit different. I think it's definitely food for thought. Like, I love Junkrat, and I just wish he was, like, a little bit more usable in different situations. And I wish his ultimate had a bit more use. So what do you think about that idea, guys? Maybe having, like, a different style of ultimate where the Riptire can just detonate on his back, because it's such an integral part of his character. I don't think you could just get rid of it. It's interesting. Right, let's go on to the worst ultimate in the game. This is, well, it's Deadeye. And you're probably thinking, well, Sty, surely this is better than Riptire. It really isn't, because you are countered by literally everything when you use this ultimate. You're very vulnerable. You light up like a Christmas tree, ladies and gentlemen. You pop it, it's high noon. Everybody knows what's going on. Everybody knows what's going on, right? You glow just to make it even more clear that something is going on. Now, in fact, it is high noon. And then you are really, really immobile. You're really slow. You receive no protection, right? It doesn't make you any more durable. You don't have like an ironclad like Bastion. I'm not saying you should, because that would be OP. Especially with the current design of this ultimate. You stand there, you start to lock onto all of the enemy targets in front of you. And it depends on how much health they've got. If they've got small health pool, or they don't have a lot of health because they've took a load of damage, you'll lock onto them fast. And when you fire, they instantly die. It is a kill shot. So this sounds great, doesn't it? Yeah, and it's like Junkrat's Riptire. On paper, sounds awesome. We've all been there, ladies and gentlemen, on, well, I was there on Numbani, when Overwatch was a very young game, a new game. People were not used to what the ultimates did. I walked it around the left-hand side flank on the final point of Numbani, popped my Deadeye, much like I did here, and I killed like 4 people, and it was great. Actually, I think I killed 5. I might have killed all 6 of the team. I didn't kill anybody there, though, did I? And that's generally what happens with Deadeye. Now you can say, well, Sty, you're not using Deadeye right. You should be using Deadeye from high flanking positions. You should be doing this. You should be doing that. The thing is, McCree is flanker protection. He is the best 1v1 duelist, or at least he should be. You land the flash more often than not, you should win the duel. So why would you want to run around the side of the map to try and get some sort of awesome flank, which leaves your team open, and also you'll probably get killed because as soon as you pop it, it takes time to lock on, and people are probably going to kill you. So what do we do about this? What is this ultimate? Well, this ultimate is a zoning ultimate to me. It's not an ultimate about getting kills. If you can get 1 kill with Deadeye, you take the kill, right? You're so vulnerable when you use it. If you can see that skull, you just take it, right? I don't want to wait for some sort of quad kill or anything ridiculous like that. You will die. The longer you wait with this ultimate up, you will absolutely die. If you're standing behind a Reinhardt barrier and you're doing it, yeah, you can wait a little bit longer. But the only time you really stand behind your Reinhardt and do it is to zone the enemy away. This is the only use for this ultimate, really. It's only viable use. Actually, let me just touch on one thing. It's really, really powerful on the very final point of King's Row when you're on attack, right? It can just wipe out the whole enemy team there because everybody's sort of funneled together and it's a nice position, and generally you'll be behind your Reinhardt barrier or something like that to help you with it. However, it is a zoning ultimate. What this means is it pushes the enemy away, right? It doesn't get kills, it just makes them run away, right? Which is fine, but it doesn't really feel too great. And this is a problem with McCree, his entire character. He doesn't really feel that fun to play based off his kit. I enjoy playing him because it's just an accuracy game, right? If you like playing Counter-Strike, McCree's basically got a D-Eagle, right? That's basically what this weapon is, or was, you know, back in the day when I played Counter-Strike. You know, singular shot, bang, 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 high damage, you get the headshot, pinpoint accurate. Yeah, it's awesome. It feels great. It feels crisp when you play as McCree. But he's got problems with Fan the Hammer. Like, the way that works is not great. And I could make an entire video coming up with suggestions how to fix Fan the Hammer and all of his other kit. But we're talking about Deadeye right now. What could happen to this ultimate to make it more effective? You know what I think they should do? McCree, the whole fantasy of McCree is he's like an American cowboy, right? He's going to 1v1 you, right? That's what he's doing. Why isn't his ultimate 1v1 centric? Why isn't it like, if somebody is closer to you, right, it locks on faster? Why is it based off health? You know, if somebody comes around the corner, like it's a quick draw, right? You pull it out fast. This is not a quick draw. What is this? It's like, I'm just using it to zone. I didn't even get a kill there because D.Va read it. Whatever, screw you, D.Va. But it's not fast, is it? I mean, imagine if that Tracer came onto me close range and had my ultimate. If she was like within 5 meters, you literally just pull it out and blast her in the head and kill her straight away. Maybe that could be a good use of the ultimate, because then it makes McCree more dangerous to get close to. He already is dangerous to get close to because of his flashbang, but if he could suddenly just shoot you in the head with his ultimate, that would be, I think, quite good, especially if it was based off range. I've been trying to think of other ways to fix this as well, and to me, that's the only really kind of, I don't want to use the word viable, but it's the more obvious way of fixing this, beyond like totally trying to rework his ultimate and doing all kinds of insane things with it. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below, guys, because I think both of these heroes do need some love with their ultimate. When you compare them to all the other heroes in the same categories as them, you look at me, I mean, you look at McCree, right? Look at Soldier 76, his ultimate is fantastic. It's just one of the best ultimates in the game. You look at Sombra, that ultimate is great. That EMP is probably the best initiation tool in the game. You look at Genji, do I even need to talk about Genji's Dragon Blade? That thing is insane. You look at Tracer, her Pulse Bomb, awesome for just taking out, like, it's almost like a throwaway ultimate, but it's a great ultimate. It combos with other ultimates, and it can easily just wipe out other supports. Basically, McCree has the short stick. You know, you look at Junkrat and look at the defensive ults. You look at Hanzo, that's a really decent, I mean, okay, Hanzo's ultimate is okay, but it can be used really well in conjunction with other ultimates, like with Graviton as well, and it's quite good in enclosed areas. I wouldn't say Hanzo's is too bad. I'd say it's kind of okay. And then you look at, like, for example, Symmetra's ultimates, you know, pretty good. You look at Torbjorn, again, pretty good. I could go on all day, guys, but I'm definitely sure these are the two worst ultimates in the game, and they do need some love. And I think McCree needs a lot of love anyway, and we're probably going to see a rework coming to McCree next, at least I hope so. But yeah, let me know what you think about this in the comments below, guys. If you play McCree or Junkrat, go into detail, because I think they need some love, and I think we need to maybe shine a little bit of a light on it. Alright, guys, I've been Stylosa. This is Unilost. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnilostGaming, and I will catch you next time, guys. Toodaloo.